Oh, yes, blessed love, royal family, glorify Emperor Haile Selassie the First. Let me ask you a question. How many of you have been following the so-called Devil's Comet? Well, we are going to refer to it as the Angel's Comet. P12, Pons Brooks Comet is the official name. Now, this is a very mystic comet in a very mystic time. I'm going to show you how it is related to the eclipse, the solar eclipse that just took place on the 8th of April, as well as the eclipse of Venus on the 7th of April. But listen, more importantly, we're going to show you how this comet is connected to Emperor Haile Selassie's visit to Jamaica on the 21st day of April, as well as the 5th of May. This is very deep. Stay tuned. Tiger's Nest. Blessed love, I am the Honorable Priest Isaac. I am an official priest within the realms of Rastafari of the Ethiopia Africa Black International Congress. I also hold a certification in the craft of Astronomy from Politecnico de Milano in Italy. Our universe and its maker has always been an intriguing subject for humankind. Astronomy is the study of everything in the universe beyond the Earth's atmosphere. Ancient astronomy is similar, but pays special attention to the physical and spiritual values of stars, planets, moons, and other celestial objects. It also brings in the terrestrial component, being things on an earthly plane, such as plants, human organs, and connects them to the heavenly bodies. In this course, you will learn the makeup of various planets and stars, how to locate them in the night sky, along with their associated constellations. You will also be taught about the earliest civilizations known for their astronomical comprehension, namely Kush, also known as ancient Ethiopia, Kemet, called Egypt today, the Dogons, and the Bozos, as well as the civilization of Sumer. You will also learn about black holes, their nature and origin, as well as how the ancients viewed them. Ancient astronomy is the mother of archaeoastronomy and astrotheology. Both subject areas are covered by the Priest Isaac's Institute of Holistic Knowledge. Sign up today. Visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com, or email us, priestisaacinstitute@gmail.com, for more information. Oh, beautiful once again. And remember, royal family, that the ancient astronomy course is packed with information as it deals with the cosmos. Over a dozen chapters, my royal family, definitely going into information, inspiration as well, dealing with the history of ancient astronomy, very, very important, dealing with the academics of ancient astronomy, the mathematics of ancient astronomy. And listen to me, good family, although it has been designed for a more mature audience, it is definitely recommended for the teens and the pre-teens as well. For the little ones, of course, you know, I'm going to encourage you to enroll them into the international homeschool program. But the ancient astronomy course, family, many of you would have already seen samples of the ancient astronomy course. If you have never seen anything as it relates to that, well, the commercial or the ad you just saw, trust me, that is the level wherein you have the ancient astronomy course itself. But I will invite you to visit our website, priestisaacinstitute.com. The link is in the description below, priestisaacinstitute.com, and there you will find all the information that you need to know as it relates to the ancient astronomy course. And remember, although the course is only $199 at this time, you can get it for only $100 once you are a subscriber to the Tiger's Nest radio program. And since I mentioned that, let me remind you that this evening is the Tiger's Nest radio program, 7 p.m. sharp, Radio Anu. Again, priestisaacinstitute.com. And the link is in the description below. Give thanks. Speaking of the link in the description below, share the link. Share the link of the Tiger's Nest program this evening, and share the link of this video, and like the video and thumbs up, and do all that you have to do to make sure your friends and family and other people that you never met get the same information that you're gonna get today, because this is gonna be a very serious one that we are getting into. Now, again, the comet that is in our vicinity, this is a very special comet. You should be taking your notes today. This is a very special comet, a mystic comet, a comet that made itself visible when we had the eclipse on the 8th of April, 2024, just a few days ago. Now, this is very interesting because it came into the vicinity on the 1st of April. So that was not no fool's day at all. This was a very serious day. And before we even highlight just the comet alone, several mystics would have been taking place in the heavens just for this month alone. The conjunction between Saturn and Mars, and that was early up. And even on the 13th of April, there was a very special conjunction with the very same comet, which is Pons-Brooks comet, Pons-Brooks comet, with Uranus and Pleiades and Jupiter, and all of this basically taking place in the constellation of Aries, because it was very close. This is the comet now, very close to Hamal, which is a specific star, one of the more outstanding stars in the constellation of Aries on the 1st of April. Interesting time. Now, listen to me. Family, remember, we're dealing with the heavens declaring the glory. We cannot overlook this, or underlook it, as I would say, and pretend as if, well, this is not important, this doesn't mean anything. No, I think we would have proven by now that understanding the mathematics and the mechanics of the heavens, the cosmos, is extremely important and directly connected to theology, for sure, to prophecy, without a doubt, even to history, because history is the fulfillment of prophecy, and obviously connected to spirituality, to your character, to your destiny. All of this is seen in the heavens, and we would have touched upon each one of these different aspects of the interpretation of the heavens. This is serious. So now that we have the angel's comet, which they're calling the devil's comet, well, the angel comet, they have a comet they call Haile's comet. Well, Haile comet. Yeah. Now he comet, now he comet. How many of you know that hymn? Now he comet, to make up his jewels, all his jewels, precious jewels. His loved and his own, like the stars of the morning. So stars, we're dealing with the comet. So now he comet. So the comet came, was seen very close to Hamal, basically, once again, on the 1st of April. I really want you to follow this, because this comet comes around approximately every 71.5 years. They round it off to 72. So you have a comet here that comes around every 72 years. Family, I'm telling you, we have just begun. We haven't even gone to the depths yet. This is just for you. This is like the appetizer. This comet comes around every 72 years. So right away, we have entered into the zone of the mystics, because 72 is not a number that we dismiss. In fact, we do not dismiss any number, a combination of digits at all. Now, 72, for sure, within the mystics of nature, stands out right away. In astronomy, remember the sun moves 1 degree every 72 years. The beating of the heart, 72 times per minute. And of course, you know, the 72 has been added into the mythology and the allegory. Even 144 is 72 plus 72, 72 times 2. The 72 that came before Asa or Osiris at the banquet. And of course, again, all of that, see, the mythology, the allegory, which became prophecy, and then it come down to history when 72 people came representing the 72 nations at the coronation of the real Osiris, Emperor Haile Selassie the first, not mythology, not allegory, but still the mathematics, yeah. And then again, nature and the mystics all within, as again, the cycle of life. The sperm of a man takes 72 days to fully mature. So you can see the 72, again, every 72 years, we're looking for the return of this glorious comet here. The angels comet. The devil don't move with number 72. It's the angels that move with number 72. Pons Brooks comet. They refer to it as P12, another level of its scientific name. So I hope you comprehend what's happening here. So what we're saying, royal family, that where the comet is, when the comet is coming around, all of this is extremely important. So we have been observing the path of the comet, really spending a lot of time in Aries and going towards, coming through the Taurus constellation and going towards Orion. Yes, going towards Sahu. When do you think it's going to align with Sahu? Hold on, I will show you all of that in a few moments. Now, this is very important for us to understand that it was the eclipse on the 8th of April that really highlighted the presence of Comet P12, Pons Brook. Now, you see, you have to understand, let's just return to the eclipse quickly. Many ones were speaking of the Hebrew letters that it would have written over the United States of America in combination with 2 prior eclipses, the pathway thereof. We're not going to go into all of that. You know, Nineveh was a big conversation, and Little Egypt at the conjunction, that was a big conversation as well, and several other things. Remember Mount Etna with the circles and the earthquakes that were taking place. In fact, just before the eclipse, during the eclipse, and after the eclipse, there were a heap of tornadoes just following the same path of the eclipse. More so in the southern part of the United States of America. So people, even up to now, it's still, even in the aftermath of the eclipse, consider this eclipse to have been one of the most serious eclipse and sign of upcoming judgment, and even judgment at the time of the eclipse. All right. But I'm saying that when the sun became dark, Venus appeared, Jupiter appeared, and Comet P12, Pons Brooks, the angels' comet, appeared. Now, this eclipse, again, very big event, very important event in the mystics of time and space. So we cannot overlook anything or underlook anything here. Now, Venus so close to the sun. Venus dominated the eclipse with its light, obviously, for those of you who saw the fullness. But remember, just 23 hours before this, the moon had eclipsed Venus too. The energy, the spirit, man. Jupiter, the lord of the planets, present for the great eclipse. And just across from Jupiter again, the angels coming around on its 72nd year, orbit around the sun. It's 72 years orbit around the sun. Beautiful. So, all right, let's just keep all of this in mind. So, according to its path and according to its time frame, as I said, going through basically Aries, then passing through Taurus, and then will align with Orion in short order. Now, today being the 16th, today, as I'm speaking to you, of April 2024. So we can show you exactly where it is that this comet is right now. But let me tell you, on the 21st day of April, listen to me good, family. On the 21st day of April, even though I have a lot to say, I'm not going to keep you long. On the 21st day of April, this is 2024, we are going to have a serious meditation in the heavens. That is going to be the perihelion. I repeat, the perihelion of the comet, which they call the devil's comet. And perihelion literally means the sun, its closest point to the sun. And then after that, listen to this, it's going to, well, first of all, while it is going through that period of perihelion with the sun, obviously, is going to be at its brightest magnitude. I want to highlight all of this is taking place on the 21st day of April. Now, according to space research, this is taken from an article, and I quote, after the perihelion, Comet 12P, Pons Brooks, will become a southern hemisphere object. Now, maybe everything that I'm saying is not really reaching home to everyone, but just take your time with me and I'll take my time with you. At this moment, the comet that is known as P12, Pons Brooks Comet, what we call the Angel's Comet, what they call the Devil's Comet, is in the northern hemisphere of the heavens. So again, just like the planet has a northern hemisphere and a southern hemisphere, the heavens has a northern hemisphere and a southern hemisphere. So according to the path of this comet, at the moment as I am speaking to you, it is still in the northern hemisphere. We are actually following its path, basically. Let me show you. We're actually tracking it as it moves. I will give you a better understanding of what is taking place. So, excuse me for a moment. When you observe, for example, this taken from theskylive.com, you are looking at 12P, or some refer to it as P12, Pons Brooks Comet. And at the moment now, this is the date and time, the 16th day of April. Good. So you can use this site, once again, at theskylive.com, and this will help you to even follow and track the movement of the comet and other celestial objects. Now, on the 21st day of April, this is when, in its orbit around the sun, where you will have Pond's Brook coming to its closest point in its orbit around the sun. And in scientific terms, that is referred to as the perihelion. So there's a time when the Earth is at perihelion to the sun. Every object that has an orbit around the sun has a perihelion. And the Earth's perihelion is around the 2nd, the 3rd to the 4th day of January. Very good. So on the 21st day of April, that will be the perihelion of the comet, the angel's comet, closest. And its brightest magnitude will be occurring at that time. And as you can see, it will be well aligned with Uranus and Jupiter at that time. But listen, what is so significant about the 21st day of April? Now, I think everyone knows that that is the anniversary of the visitation of Emperor Haile Selassie I to Jamaica. Now, this is actually a celebration moment in Rastafari for many, many different reasons. We can do a whole program about that. In fact, we would have done several programs about this and things leading up to this and things surrounding this, etc., etc. Just the prophecy itself from the Coral Gardens massacre, Bad Friday on Good Friday. And then 3 years after, symbolic of the resurrection, the King of Kings would have come to Jamaica. Never before in the history of Jamaica or the history of anywhere would anyone have been greeted like that at an airport. First time in history that the military welcome for a leader had to be abandoned. This is what I would have read, and I wouldn't doubt it, because this was an extraordinary event. Nothing like this ever took place. No one can say anything about Haile Selassie as it relates to him and Rastafari. People trying to pull out all the speeches in the world and trying to say he's a Christian, this, that, and the third. Man in the highest diplomatic office in the world, the king clearly, without a doubt, paid attention to Rastafari. The king leave Ethiopia to give 31 dreadlocks man and some brushback man too. 31 brethren, most of them dreadlocks, some brushback, races, medals, gold medals, 31 gold medals, 31 gold medals. The king entertained them. The king give them an audience. The king speak of their affairs. Haile Selassie, the emperor of Ethiopia, the world's most decorated human being who don't have to talk to nobody else. Yeah, came and recognized the brethren and sisters from the slum on the 21st and the 22nd day of April, because it's the 22nd day of April, really, when the king gave the medals to the brotherhood, the 22nd day of April, not necessarily the 21st. So just showing you the heights, the king came on the 21st. This is deep. And then now on another level, many ones as races may not see it the same way, but the visitation of Haile Selassie I as it relates to him meeting the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards is prophetic. We don't have to stay too long on that, but it's prophetic. This is the book of Daniel chapter 7 being expressed here. After all the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit. And Daniel goes on to say, in the night vision, one like unto the Son of Man came unto the Ancient of Days. Or it says he was brought unto the Ancient of Days. He came with the cloud of heaven, the clouds of heaven, and he was brought. And that's very important, how they say he was brought unto the Ancient of Days, because all of this took place in King's house, You know, the Rasta man had to have been given permission as such to come in there. This is some deep stuff. The persecuted, the King of Kings said, I want to see these people here. These are the same people that came to visit me 5 years ago. You know, and I came back on the exact same day that they came, exactly 5 years after, the 21st day of April, to visit them. I wonder if you follow what I'm saying here. The 21st day of April, read your Bible, is the Passover. The first day of the month, and it went up to the 21st day. Am I lying? The Passover. Again, programs we would have done, don't want to just keep, you know. That's why we just summarize it sometimes in a word. But you can revisit these programs right here in our channel, the YouTube channel. The 21st day of April being the biblical Passover. These videos are not hard to find if you want to get it in depth. But in the Bible, it talks about the Passover. The first Passover when the children of Israel were in captivity in Egypt. Not in Comet now, which is another thing tonight on the Tiger's Nest. Depending on if I'm going to touch that subject, I want to talk about the Hyksos. And if the Hyksos people are really the Israelites, that's on the Tiger's Nest tonight, 7 p.m. Radio Anu, make sure you're there. Tiger's Nest, 7 p.m. Radio Anu, but I don't want to go there right now. But in Egypt, not Kemet now, Egypt, you know, the Israelites were in captivity. And the Lord came over Egypt. Yeah. You read in the book, it speaks about the first day of the month, the 7th day of the month. They took the lamb and sacrificed the lamb the 14th day of the month, and they beat the doorposts with the blood of the lamb, and it went all the way up to, I think the feast went to the 21st day of the month. It's right there in the Bible, and it's considered the first month of the year. Now, I'm just showing you the mystic, as I said, even in the previous programs, many ones know that the 1st of April, that's why they call 1st of April All Fool's Day. That's why they mark it, because many ones consider that as a new year in ancient times. There's some Hebrew Israelites that stick to the 1st of April. They may not follow that exact calendar that maybe the Jewish ones may use, how it goes back and forth, but they stick to the 1st of April as a solar, you know, principle there, you know, solar landmark, if you want to call it that, as the beginning of the year. Some consider the 1st of April as the beginning of spring. So it does have a science. So that's why on that level, one may not consider this as academic, and some of the scholars may not see it as academic as they would put it. But the 1st of April has always been considered as a new year, a new cycle, the beginning of spring. It's not quote unquote the spring equinox, but it's around the same time. So that's why they have the All Fool's Day. It's something they mark. You must understand the science of the evil one. So anyway, when you align that, just read it in the book of Exodus with the first day of the month, the 7th, the 14th, up to the 21st day of the month. That's the 21st day of April. And then what does it say? The Lord came over Egypt in this dark cloud, dark cloud, just like when the King of Kings came to Jamaica, enough rain. The dark clouds did, you know, and he was looking now, this is the Lord in the Bible, he was looking for those who had the blood of the lamb on their doorposts, Homoa. The tradition in Ghana, Homoa. So with the red clay and on the doorpost, Homo. But in the Bible, according to the scripture, they were to kill the lamb and take the blood and beat their doorpost. So when the Lord came over Jamaica now, or when the Lord came over Egypt, and he saw the sign that you're dealing with the lamb, you would have been spared. That's really the meaning of the allegory of the story. You see, so that's why even in the Ethiopian drawings, you see the lamb taking the book out of the hand out of him that sat upon the throne, the Ancient of Days, and you still see the lion in the background. So this is exactly what is taking place here on the 21st day of April. This is the Passover, when the Lord came over Egypt, Jamaica, looking for the lamb. Yeah, you better believe it. Again, read the book of Exodus, the 21st day of the first month. Let me say it again, the 21st day of the first month. Now, of course, I don't expect, with the millions of people that will be watching this, I don't expect every person to agree, but that's okay, because this ain't no fantasy or no fairy tale. It's the heavens we dealing with here. The heavens, is the stars. We going right back to the heavens now to prove everything that we just said. The heavens where nothing can be denied. No King James Version, nobody rub out nothing, no matter how many satellites they have out there. The heavens declare the glory. All right, very good, beautiful. Now, first of all, as I said, in this season, the comet is in Aries, the ram, because that is the season, you know. In the zodiac season, around the 21st day of April, you're talking about Aries, the ram, Aries going into Taurus. All the astrologers know what I'm talking about. So my point is that scripture that talks about the Lord, this is to show that we're dealing with a solar book that says the Lord gonna pass over Egypt looking for the ram. And then we are showing you the alignment of the 21st day of the first month will align, depending on the interpretation, with the 21st of April. We're talking about the season of the ram, Aries. Even the astrologers will agree with that, because even in ancient astronomy at this modern time, that is when the sun is going into the ram. And the sun represents God in the ram now, looking for the ram on the 21st day of the first month. And I'm saying ram, Aries, the same comet now that we are talking about, P12, the Pons Brooks comet is just coming out of the ram on its visitation to Taurus before it reaches Orion. I wanted to follow this good family because this is very important. Now, on the 21st day of April, we are going to have what is known once again as the perihelion of this interesting comet. And it's going to be at its brightest magnitude, 12P or 12 or P12 is going to be at its brightest magnitude. And then, according to the report we read, according to the article, after its perihelion, P12 will become a southern celestial object. So it's going to what? Cross over. For you to become a southern celestial object and you are a northern celestial object, that means you have to cross over the equator. You have to pass over the equator. Listen to me good, eh? You have to pass over the equator. Now, many ones that speak about astrology and the Bible, they always say that when it is the spring equinox, the sun pass over, which is true. What is happening? The sun is passing over from the southern hemisphere into the northern hemisphere. That's why the equinox is equal day and night, because that's the day the sun is on the equator. And then the days after, it goes to the northern hemisphere. And that's during the time of Passover. Like now is the time of Passover. Well, I'm showing you on the 21st day of April again. I just read it from the astronomical article. Not me, not my sky chart, from the reality that after this comet, the same comet that is in the ram, this comet which they call the devil's comet, which is, as I said, the angel's comet, this comet that comes around every 72 years. This comet is going to become brighter than it has ever become on the 21st day of April. And at that time, it's going to be at its closest. Listen to me good. This comet is going to be at its closest point to the sun. On the 21st day of April, the comet that comes around every 72 years is going to be at its closest point. It could even shake the sun's hand. That's how close the comet is to the sun. Year 72, eh? And then after this visitation with the sun, it's going to become a southern constellation. How does that happen? Not a southern constellation, pardon. A southern celestial object. How does that happen? And it's in the north. Well, it has to pass over. It has to pass over the equator for that to happen, because it's in the north now. So after the 21st, when it gets bright and say, yeah, look at me here. The last time it was bright like that was when the sun eclipsed on the 8th of April. Nothing's happening, eh? Remember the day before that, Venus was eclipsed by the same moon. That is why the heavens is rejoicing. But we're not done, eh? Remember the 23rd is a full moon. Okay, so hold on. On the 22nd now, which is the day when the Ancient of Days met the Son of Man, which is the day the 31 elders got the medals in King's house, which is the day the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, the robe and turban, appeared first before the king. I think everyone should know by now or have some idea of the vibration as it relates to the serpent holder, Ophiuchus. Now, the serpent holder is the constellation that represents the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. The tall man, whether this drawing here, I mean, may not be the best construction that they have, but here stands the man with the robe, the turban, and he's holding on to the serpent. For those who know the story, obviously many of you would, he's standing on the scorpion. And the scorpion now is standing before Libra. And of course, you have Sagittarius behind, the man with the crown who came off of the unicorn, the white horse. I mean, all of this is fulfilling the prophecy. And above the serpent holder is Hercules with his sword, ready to slew the head off of the serpent. That is really the allegory in the heavens that declare the glory. Now listen, according to astronomy, NASA, etc., on the 22nd day of April, there's going to be an astronomical light show. Listen to me, good family. I'm going to wrap up right now. So there's going to be an astronomical light show. What is known as the Lyrid meteor shower will reach its peak. So those of you who like to see meteor showers, on the evening of the 22nd day of April, all you need to do is to find out where the Lyrid meteor shower is taking place, and you come outside and you relax and look up into the heavens, and you will see the meteor shower and meteors passing all in front of you. Spectacular presentation once it's not a cloudy evening. So the question is, where will I see this? At which, junction of the sky? In fact, tell me the constellation. Yeah, wherein I can see the Lyrids meteor shower on the 22nd day of April, by the way, the same day when Haile Selassie gave the medals to the Rasses, the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, the first of the 31st. The Ancient of Days did sit, and the Son of Man came with the cloud of the heavens, and he was brought unto the Ancient of Days. Yeah, good. Where did or is this meteor shower taking place? Well, according to the experts, and they are correct, it's taking place just slightly off of the constellation of Hercules. But what they fail to express is that it's taking place just above the head of the serpent holder. So if you can recognize the serpent holder, which represents King Emmanuel, undeniable. I may not have gone into it in the depths here, but trust me, that's nothing for anybody to even try to debate. The serpent holder represents the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. And just above its head is going to be a beautiful light show. Look how it looks like a crown of light above the head of the serpent holder. And this is happening on the 22nd day of April, in a few days. And all of this, you know, is aligned with the anniversary of the visitation of Emperor Haile Selassie I, even to Jamaica. Now, hold on. I want to show you about the full moon now. This is very important because the full moon is going to be what is referred to as a pink moon. And the full, and let me say something here, and this is serious, and I'm going to do a program about this when the time comes. Now, this full moon, which is the 23rd day. Now, the 23rd day, that is the day the King of Kings left Jamaica, came on the 21st, and he left on the 23rd. Good. All of this is very important. Now, listen to me. The moon is still in the Virgin constellation. At least I'm talking about for the upcoming full moon. Now, they are considering this moon to be a Libra moon. Pardon me, a Scorpion moon. That is the astrologers. Now, family, listen to me. I'm going to do a whole program on this. But let me just explain this quickly. Anyone can do their research. And let's end this foolishness with these astrologers now. Anyone can do their research. On the 26th day of April, the moon, not the full moon, just the moon, is going to pass in front the star known as Antares. That's a serious thing. That's on the 26th day of April. That's like about 3 days removed from the full moon. Now listen to me. I just want you to understand this. Yeah. If the full moon is going to be a full moon in the Scorpion constellation, well, on the 26th day of April, it would be impossible for the moon to pass over Antares. Antares is like the jugular vein, or is like the voice box or the esophagus area of the Scorpion's structure. So it's the mouth, the planet and the moon and whatever goes into the Scorpion mouth. And depending on where they are, they align with Antares. The moon is going to eclipse Antares then on the 26th day of April. It is impossible for the 23rd day of April moon to be a Scorpion moon. And the moon still eclipse Antares 3 days, 72 hours after. Come on, astrologers. But anyway, I know that is all a part of the game. So I'm showing to you now that when you observe the serpent holder, above the serpent holder's head is the light show. April's Lyrids meteor shower. And again, the serpent holder represents the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards. And again, very important, very, very, very important. When we consider that, we are speaking of the time when the same Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards met Haile Selassie I and received his gold medal. And of course, the visitation of Haile Selassie I was the 21st day of April. And again, on the 21st day of April, family, we're going to have another light show prior to the light show on the 22nd that's taking place above the head of the serpent holder. The light show will be that you will see the comet, the angel's comet, get as bright as it can get just after the setting of the sun, because it will be at its closest point to the sun, the perihelion. I wonder if you're following all of these mystics. This is what the ancient astronomers thrived on. And as I said again, after it gets bright on the 21st day of April, after its perihelion on the 21st day of April, it's going to have a Passover. But that's Passover, I know, but it's going to have a Passover. It doesn't do it every year. This is just a mystic thing happening. It's going to have a Passover. It comes around every 72 years. Sounds like God, I'm telling you. And listen to this. It's going to be closest to the sun. Like if they were any closer, they could have shook hands. This is very, very serious. And then the 23rd day, the day of April, 23rd of April, the same day the king will be moving out. That's when you have the full moon. Astrologers. The wrong astrologers are telling people that this very important pink moon is in Scorpio. So obviously they're going to give you all the Scorpio readings. So tell them to explain to you, how is it that the moon will occult Antares, which is in the mouth of Scorpio, 3 days after the full moon? Explain that, which is basically an impossible thing. Okay, hold on, I'm not done. Some people, I feel like people ready to, no, I'm not done. I mentioned the 5th of May. I mentioned the 5th of May. Now again, give thanks for your presence with us. Let's observe the comet. The comets always give this impression as if they're moving backwards. And, the comet is like a chunk of ice just releasing billions of gallons of water every second. Comet. Okay, very good. Now, we did a whole program on Mintaka. And we showed you how Mintaka is now aligned perfectly with the celestial equator and aligning Sahu or Orion, I should say, within the tropics as such of the celestial vibration there. Now, within the heights, 12P or P12, Pons, Brooks, the angel's comet, will not really be coming to its closest point on the 5th of May. But between, let's say, the 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th of May, you will see that it will align with Mintaka and the celestial equator. Now, of course, during this time, according to the Ethiopian Orthodox brothers and sisters, this is when they will be celebrating their Easter at for 2024. So it is interesting that this is the time, again, not its closest point, because as you follow the days, it actually gets closer to Orion, but but it's not aligned with the belt and the equator anymore. It is actually really going deep south now, as the article said. Anything after the 21st, it will be on its way to becoming a southern celestial object. Anything after the 21st, it will cross over or pass over. What you talking about? The comet. Which comet? The one that comes around every 72 years, my brother and sister. And of course, the day after, it shines itself and pass over. We're going to have a light show just above the serpent holder's head. All of this, I mean, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament really showing his handiwork. All right. I did promise I wouldn't have kept you too long, and I hope this program would have been such a blessing to you. Yeah, the sun in the Ram constellation. I mean, we can go on and on. Family, I'm encouraging you. Well, join me tonight in the Tiger's Nest. Of course, you know, that's one of the main encouragements. But I'm encouraging you to enroll into the ancient astronomy course. Believe me, it will benefit you tremendously. Royal family, remember, you can check me out on Spotify. You get all the different Tiger's Nests, some of which you would have never heard on Spotify. All you got to do is, you know, just check Precise on Spotify, check me on the website and get more information. Yeah, looking for your presence with us. Life giver and the keeper of life. Tiger's Nest. The link for the website in the description below. Blessed love.
Prosperity is a herbal remedy that has been naturally designed to nourish the prostate gland. Prosperity uses a combination of leaves, roots, and barks to create a tincture designed to nourish your prostate gland. It also will assist in prostate-related issues such as erectile dysfunction, swollen prostates, and problems related to the passage of urine. Call or WhatsApp 728-8289, 728-8289 and get your bottle today. Prosperity.
The Tiger's Nest is a Radio Anu International exclusive program brought to you by the Honorable Priest Isaac. The Tiger's Nest is aired live every Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. local standard time. Become a subscriber through our website by visiting www.priestisaacinstitute.com and choose between our subscription plans. Or you can subscribe by using the details provided in the link below.